All right, here we are. Live in the green room behind Governors with Joey Cola's podcast. And Tony Walker's here. Mike Escudero's on the board trying to fix shit. And we got burgers from All American because it's Tony Walker's birthday.
Hey!
Happy birthday, Tony.
Thank you, pal.
So I bought him some All American. I know he loves that. So we got that. We got the onion rings. We got the French fries. We got the doubles with cheese and a cheeseburger. Coke. You know what? We all don't do it all the time. Every once in a while, you got to throw that in.
I like to do it all the time.
By the way, watch Rachel Ray this Tuesday, the last segment of the show. Something really cool happens involving Nutella, which is my favorite.
Did you finally dip your balls in Nutella?
That's what I did.
You've been threatening that for
How'd
years.
You know? Did you get an early copy of that?
Now you know why you're
Tuesday.
here.
It's funny when it was like I guess.
By the way, my friend JP from Roger and JP in the morning on WBAB is sitting to my left. One of the greatest people in the world, one of my good friends, and a radio legend here on Long Island and around the world.
It's true. It's true.
Can you get fart? Let me see the smoke come out of your ass now.
They throw that word around really easy. When that Nutella thing came out, I guess it was right before the holidays that they were going to sell a 5-gallon drum of it at Costco.
7-gallon. I got one. Yeah.
You know what? I was going to buy you one the last time I came in, and I go, "There's no fucking way he doesn't already have."
Rachel Ray gave it to me for Christmas. She gave me the bucket, and I got a bunch of them with my name on it. And you know what I found? The greatest thing. You know those little King's Hawaiian rolls?
Yeah.
They're sweet?
Yeah.
You could put Nutella on that and eat them, and they're great. I dipped a King's Hawaiian roll in Nutella.
When's the last time you went to the doctor for a checkup?
Just the other day.
Did you?
Just the other day. I'm getting a blood test next week.
Did you get fingered?
I'm seeing another. No, I didn't get fingered.
That was after.
Yeah.
That's this weekend.
I have to get a vagina first to get fingered. No.
Do you, though?
No, I didn't. No, I haven't had the prostate done in a while, which I should, because I get up in the middle of the night and I trinkle a little bit and get up 10 minutes later and trinkle a little bit more.
Dude,
that means it must be the size of a pineapple.
After I got my vasectomy,
Yeah.
I never was treated. The doctor that did my vasectomy, his name is Dr. Fish. He's in West Islip.
Yeah.
And I go in there and we have the initial consultation. So, and he's trying to give me all the reasons. These could be the possible side effects. I go, dude, listen. I have one boy, I have one girl, 10 fingers, 10 toes, everything's normal.
I replaced myself on the planet.
I am not tempting fate.
Yeah.
I go, I'm out of the game. I'm not making any more babies. Let's
That's
just do it. He goes, all right, let's go into we'll go into the exam room.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking he's going to take my blood pressure, that kind of stuff, and then make the appointment to come back.
Yeah.
No. Elbows on the table, pants down to the ankles, and he goes in and he takes he puts on the gloves. I'm like, oh, this is really going down. I've never had that happen ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is going to go down. So he takes the glove, and he puts it on, and I see him taking his 2 fingers.
Two fingers.
I think it was 2 fingers. And he put a lot of lube on there. And he goes in, he goes out, and he goes around just to check the prostate, and he pulls it out. The guy reaches over and grabs a box of tissues.
Right.
Throws it at me, and goes, now clean yourself up.
Oh, my God.
I felt like such a whore. I was like, oh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I clean myself
Oh
up.
my God! Now clean yourself up. Now he was a guy who listens
Leave
to
the
the radio.
money on the table.
He listens to the radio show, so I guess he thought I would think it was funny, and I did think it was funny.
Yeah.
After I felt,
Yeah.
Did you get like $5?
Violated.
Violated. Yeah, violated. Definitely. Yeah.
I because when you got to get the colonoscopy, I started at 45. They say you're supposed to start at 50.
I haven't had it yet.
You haven't had a colonoscopy?
No,
They do
me
that for the
neither.
colonoscopy too, and that's what they do. But they knock you out.
Yeah.
But they run this tube like right up your ass, and they
Right.
just shove all the stuff in there and everything. And when you're done, when you wake up, you know you've been
Do you?
you've been done.
What was the night before
You
like?
smiling? Yeah. Is that why you know you're
Well, the
smiling?
night
in a good
before
mood?
is great, which my brother thinks. My brother wants me to lose weight, so
'Cause they
he's
make
like,
you drink that
"Dude,
drink,
just
right?
drink the shit and get rid of all this stuff. It clears you out. You literally shit clear. You know what I mean? So it's liquid, it's clear, it's out complete. But you clean your whole system out. And my brother thinks that everybody should do that and then start from scratch and just eat celery from that point on. You can't do it.
That's
you
boring.
can't do it. It is boring. This stuff is so much
Look
more
at what
fun.
we're eating here.
It's so much more fun. But yeah, you got to do that, man. Every time you get a physical, you got to get your prostate checked too. So we're at that age now where, you're 48, right? 47.
Yeah.
You're just 49 today.
49 today.
I'm 58. I'm going to be 58 this year, man. So it all starts happening.
You went to the doctors though?
Yeah.
Seriously? Because I've
been to the doctor. I'm fine. I got to lose some weight. My pressure's a little bit. We got to watch my pressure a little bit. But I'm starting prednisone next week to get rid of I tore my Achilles tendon. I got
Careful.
2 bones. Now you're the first one that said be careful. Everybody's
Prednisone?
yeah.
I get fucking bananas.
Really?
Oh, dude,
Well, it's a steroid. You become like the Hulk, right?
my fuse, which is already short,
Yeah.
becomes virtually non-existent.
Really? On
Yeah.
prednisone.
What happened was, it was, I guess, a couple years ago, I was taking it for my back. And there's a guy that I work with at the radio station. I almost fucking killed him. Like,
Really?
they actually, I lunged over the desk.
Wow.
I lunged
Yeah.
over, and
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I need to go get myself checked out. Like, I almost,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm not going to fight you. And he starts backing away from me. I'm like, I hear Raj go, JP, what are you doing? I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God. Like,
Yeah.
he stopped me. Yeah. So be careful with the prednisone.
Well, he's
At
got
least
me
you
on
had that
heavy
to blame it
doses.
on.
Yeah.
It was the drugs.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. No, it's like that stuff is, I get it. I don't like it.
I got to
I
take
feel
it.
awful. I end up like I'm crawling out of my skin.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, we'll
dude,
see what
sucks.
happens. I got 6 doses the first day, then 5, then 4, then 3. I got to be on it for 12 days.
This is like an
It's
episode of that
supposed to-
show, The Doctors.
Yeah.
Right. Just like that.
I got the hernia still. I got that
Yeah.
popped out. Yeah, I saw that. Told you on your show.
Yeah.
When I was on your show, my belly button popped out. So I
Right.
called your guy. He's going to do an operation in June.
Which guy?
The guy over in...
Dr.
You know the
Adami?
guy.
Yeah. That guy.
You went to Dr. Adami?
Yeah. The guy Mineola? Mineola.
No,
is
that's
his
not
name. No.
this is the other
It's the
guy.
guy Mineola.
I didn't give you Minneola.
Anyway,
I don't
guy-
go to, this is the only time I go to Nassau Counties to see you.
Brett gave me deli. Yeah, he doesn't cross 110.
No.
We're blessed that he came this far west. He's the furthest east he goes is the ranch where the horses are in Montauk. That's it. So anyway, we should get older. But you got to enjoy your life. You know,
I know.
There's a window. You know, everybody's going to die soon. I don't want to get morbid, but everybody's going to die. So you got to enjoy whatever little time you get here.
And whatever small
Yeah,
fries you have.
Yeah, that's all. I said small, not large, right? Listen, you know what? The guy said when I'm on a prednisone, he goes, "You got to." One of the side effects is you get moon face. I already got moon face.
Right. You're going to get
It's already
swollen.
there.
Yeah, you get swollen.
I'm gonna get
What-
Saturn
Oh,
face.
is that what that means?
Yeah, you hold a
Moon
ton of water.
face.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
gonna eat like crazy and everything. So I know I got to stop eating next week when I do this. So I'm gonna eat now a little bit. Plus, it's your birthday. It's your birthday,
A,
dude.
man.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So anyway, back to you, my friend.
Back to me.
I want to start. I've been going to BAB since Bob Buckman ran the show years ago. So I'm doing stand up 38 years. So I guess 38 years I've been going on BAB here and there. And then you and Roger came on how many years ago?
We wrapped up 19 in January. So
19.
we're
That's it?
Yeah.
this
Wow.
coming January will be 20 years.
Good.
Wow.
Yep.
20 years
I
of
think I've
getting
been
up
on the
at
show
4 o'clock
since the
in the
beginning,
morning.
20 years or something like
Yeah.
that since you guys started.
Yep.
But I want to know your story. I want to know your story. We'll talk about when
My
Roger gets
story.
here. We'll talk to him about it. But I want to know your story. How you got on BAB. First, let's go back. You graduated from Deer Park.
I went to Deer Park, and then I went to a couple colleges. I ended up at Hofstra. Hofstra, I got thrown out of the radio station because the guy was a dick. Well,
Good reason.
yeah. You know what happened was, like, I was.
Who's the guy, bro? First of all, was the guy?
The
was
guy is
who's
he's like the backup
radio.
Bruce Avery. He's like the backup weather guy at News 12.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's the
That
GM.
guy?
Yeah, dude, he's still the GM over at Hofstra.
Really?
At Hofstra Radio, yeah.
He comes across on Channel 12 like the simplest guy. Well, we got the weather.
He
over
is
there.
like
he's
the
high.
dude, it's like that gig is like stealing money.
Really?
It really is. It's
What,
like stealing
News
money.
12?
No.
Oh,
no,
the
no.
Hofstra
The
thing.
Hofstra
Oh, okay,
gig.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God, that's like
Yeah.
stealing. But no, what happened
See,
was
Mikey, pay attention, dude. He was at Hofstra. So you can go
Yeah.
into a lot of the same crap.
He's still eating. He
yeah,
doesn't
and listen,
care.
if anybody's a parent and they're listening or they're a kid and they tell you they're going to be a communications major, punch them in the face because they're going to come out owing $100,000 in student loans. They're going to make $30,000 a year. The majority of them.
Yeah.
It's just anyway. So anyway, I was over at Hofstra and I was trying to get on the radio, but I was also doing my internship at BAB, and the guy goes. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he was making all the new class take this FCC regulations class. That's not legal. He just
Right.
thought it should be good, you know. So
Okay.
you're like, what days can you do it? And I said, well, I'm available this day. The rest of my group was available that day. And he's like, no, we're going to do it on Thursday.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I was taking 15 credits. I was delivering pizzas for 30 hours a week. And I was working at BAB for 20 hours a week.
Living in Deer Park. at
Living
your
in Deer
parents'
Park.
house.
Yeah.
So with your parents, yeah.
And then he says, he's like, no, we're going to do it this way. I go, go fuck yourself. I go, I'm
Wow.
out. And that was
Yeah.
it.
Good.
And that was it. And I just stayed at BAB and it just turned out. And it turned out okay. But then, you know, I went from an internship, then I was the promotions guy,
that's what I wanna know.
driving the vans all over Long
Yeah,
Island
yeah.
and going to all the clubs and meeting some really, really great people. And Bob Buckman, who he's one person that I owe a whole lot to. He just saw a little something, and next thing you know, he'd be sending me out in the streets to be like a man in the streets guy.
Long Island legend from WBAB radio.
And then he
back
sent
in the
me.
day.
He sent me to like, I don't know. I had to go to like a Nassau Suffolk lumber, some lumber yard
Right.
to do whatever it was.
With the van.
And he's like, JP, what's going on over there? I go, I don't know. Some woman's just being a real. See you next Tuesday. And he goes. He goes, all right, we'll be right back with more. And I'm like, I go back to the radio station
Wow.
when I was all done.
Yeah.
He closed the office. He's like, what the fuck are you thinking? I go, what? He goes, see you next Tuesday. I go, that was funny.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but get out of my office. And
Wow.
right? But then, so that just kind of kept happening. And
Yeah.
then there was an opportunity to do something at the Grammys. I was still a promotions guy, but I was starting to do a little bit more on air because he would have me on his show a little bit more often.
Right.
And then we were doing a broadcast. There was an opportunity to do a Grammys broadcast. So Roger, my partner now, was
New York, Radio City type of thing?
No, L.A. Staples Center.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And you know who treated us like shit?
Who?
Rosie.
Rosie O'Donnell?
Treated us like
Really?
shit out there.
Wow.
Hey, Rosie, it's
Right, Long
you know,
Island.
Long
Yeah.
Island, WBAB.
Right.
And she just looked at us and turned and kept on walking. I
Wow.
was like, wow, that sucked. Wow. But
What year was this?
we started in 2000, so that's probably 99.
Yeah, it was
You
the
know?
middle of her show.
And yeah, she was hosting, or not. I don't know if she was hosting or just doing something.
And this was the Emmy Awards.
no, the Grammys.
Grammy Awards, okay.
It was the Grammys. It was the year Santana had that song "Smooth" and
Yeah,
just won
yeah.
everything. Dude, I'll tell you a funny story. You'll appreciate this because you're a music guy.
Love him, man.
So we're in there. We're watching the rehearsals.
Right.
Roger. So I'm the promotions guy, and we're doing just a bunch of interviews.
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
sent me out there to kind of spice up the interviews because Roger was more of
Right.
a straight jock at that time.
Yeah.
And so we did a bunch of interviews with a bunch of, less. We weren't getting. They don't wheel A-level guests out in front of you
Right.
at those broadcasts. They just like whoever they can get their hands on. Who's, I think the biggest name we had Brian Wilson, which was a big one.
that's
Yeah,
big.
that's
But
good.
he was so
Yeah.
fucked up. It was just.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
geez.
out there.
He
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
mess. And Bonnie Raitt was another big one. But at
Yeah.
that time, so we're inside and we're watching the rehearsals, and I think like the girl from the Fugees, with Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill was it,
was
yeah.
doing something on
Right.
stage or whatever, and then you're in a dark theater. So when you're in a theater in the afternoon, it's all dark, and
Right.
and if somebody opens up the door, it's
Yeah,
just
bright
always
light comes
bright
in,
light.
yeah.
So somebody opened up this door, and all you saw in the doorway was a figure holding a guitar. You can't see the
Wow.
face, you can't see anything, and all of a sudden this figure, the feet aren't hitting the floor; it's just
Floats
floating to the
Yeah.
stage. Right? Comes in, plugs in his guitar, plays the opening chord, and you just know right away with that guitar sound.
Yeah,
it's
nobody sounds
it's
like that.
Carlos Santana.
Yep.
And
Oh,
to this,
my
I still
God.
get,
Yeah,
I
look at
still
that. You
get the
got,
hair on my arm stand up when I
yeah.
tell that story because
Wow.
that fucking dude, that guy,
Yeah.
his feet didn't hit the ground. He just,
Yeah,
just
right to
floated.
it.
And
Yeah,
it was awesome. That was awesome. So then, I guess after that, Bob Buckman had decided to, he was going to go in and do Q104 in New York City. It was his
Right.
chance to go into New York City.
Yeah.
And then they asked Raj, to do mornings, and he said, "What do you think you need?" And he goes, "I want JP," because at that
Wow.
time, we were doing the Friday afternoon happy hour. So he was the DJ, and I was the guy that was putting up all the banners, and I would get everybody to
But
do that.
personality-wise, you guys hit it off.
I used to
Right.
be able to make him laugh.
Yeah, there you go.
And and then from then on, it's just been
The chemistry's been
Nice.
phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely, feeling ourselves around at first. Not feeling ourselves, but feeling our way around.
Yeah.
Feeling our way around at first, and
Yeah.
then it like there was a period of time in the very beginning where we didn't think we were going to make it, and then all of a
Right.
sudden we just turned this corner. Phew,
It's the perfect
and
dichotomy,
then
you and him.
Oh, yeah.
and then
Absolutely.
everything took off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's like another marriage. But the thing about Raj is he's so mellow
Yeah.
and so calm,
Yeah.
and I can be such an asshole. Like because when I have an idea,
It's a marriage.
it's in my head, but he knows to just let me go.
Yeah.
And like I may be off the rails, but I'm off the rails for a really good reason or
Yeah.
with good intentions.
And he
It's
knows you're going to
never-
come back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can't deny 19
Yeah.
years of winning.
Now, 19 years, your marriage, you were married when you got on the radio? No.
No,
You
I
got-
wasn't. I wasn't married when I got on the radio.
Was Raj married at that point?
yeah.
He was married.
Raj
already.
was married with
Yeah,
kids.
he's been on the radio a lot.
So
lot longer,
it's great because when the show first started, and we first started making a little bit of money,
Right.
I didn't have any responsibilities other than to like go home.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it. So we'd have our vacation time, and I would travel here.
But
and
your
I would
wife was
travel
your
there.
girlfriend at the time?
Yeah, and then we ended up getting
But
married.
you still had some freedom to go do the road stuff for the show and everything.
Yeah,
right?
whatever we needed
Personal
to do.
appearances,
Yeah,
whatever.
all that stuff.
Right.
And,
Then you met her, right?
And then, well, no, I was with her before I started.
Oh, okay.
Before I started, and we were together for 8 years before we got married.
Oh, okay. So then you dated her while you were on the radio.
Yeah.
And at what point did you decide we're going to get married, and this is my career?
We had a couple on again, off agains, and there was a time when I get a phone call. I was out at my buddy's house. We were broken up at the time, and I get a phone call from my sister. Daddy left mommy in Mexico. Make sure you get back to the house and make sure nothing's fucked up. So my father left my mother in Mexico. They got into a big fight. Apparently, he almost threw her off a balcony.
Right.
Madness.
Yeah.
And
and he got on a plane and came back.
He left my mother in Mexico.
Right.
Got back here, and my sister's like, get back to the house and make sure nothing is, make sure everything is cool.
Yeah.
And then I
It's just
I
you and your
called
sister,
Nicole,
right?
and if you want to talk
Yeah.
about ride or die, she was there, no questions asked, and
Yeah,
we've
your
been
girlfriend who
together ever
became your
since.
wife.
Yeah.
But it's just you and your sister, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So then your mother came back a day later or whatever?
2 days later, whatever it
and then
was.
Dad, they split up, I guess, at that point.
It was
and-
disgustingly
It was
ugly.
disgustingly,
at the
yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
I
like
should have
everything.
been out of the house by that time anyway,
Yeah.
but when you're working in radio, you're making, at that time doing promotions, I was probably making $7 an hour.
Yeah, but that's what you had to go through. That was your rite of passage to
Yeah.
go through. That's one of the things that we all got to go through. I went through when my mother passing away when she got in a car crash and died around when I was 25, 26 years old.
Yeah.
I went through a lot of shit. You went through a lot of shit. This guy's been through
Cancer.
shit back and then back to shit and then out of shit and forget about
Lots of
it.
shit.
But unless you go through that,
Right.
you can't get strong and you can't learn
No,
from
you
it.
gotta earn your- you
When you
gotta
look
make your
back,
bones.
you realize there's a reason why all of that stuff was thrown in. So getting back to the story now,
Yep.
you marry your wife while you're still working at BAB.
Yeah.
Right. You're with her, and then you have 2 kids.
2 kids.
Yeah, and then
And a vasectomy.
and a vasectomy right afterwards. That's it.
One of the bestest, that and putting
dude.
solar on my roof were the 2 most solid decisions I've ever made in my life.
I get those.
You know what my bill was
I
last
get-
month?
What?
$11.23.
Don't tell me that.
Come
because-
on, really?
$11.23.
Because I get these guys calling me every
All
half
the time,
hour.
yeah.
They want to put this thing out. I go kiss my
Good
ass,
news
you
for
son
you.
of a bitch.
I got a guy.
You got a guy?
I got a
Answer
guy.
me this.
I got a guy.
The reason I've never done it is because I've heard that if something's wrong with the roof, like a leak or something, all the solar panels got to come off before you can even do anything with the roof. So now you're screwed because
Well,
you
they
got to
take
pay.
them off and they move it.
No, they're checking everything out before they put anything on there.
I just got a
Yeah.
new roof, so I could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, your roofs
And
the roofs last 30 years.
And I had a new roof before I
Yeah.
put it on there too.
All right.
I want to get back to your career.
Go
I want to
ahead.
get back to your career if
All
we
right.
could. Let's get off the solar
This
shit
is so
for a
weird
second.
being interviewed by you.
Yeah,
Like I didn't.
I know.
The last thing I was expecting was an
I know,
interview.
because usually I come into your station, I'm all banged up, and we're talking about
I
things.
thought
when
for sure he was going
it's
to
more of a
say, "Tell me how you
free-fall."
almost killed your family on the boat."
No.
That's what I
We're
thought
gonna
we
get
were
to
walking
that.
into.
We're gonna get to that. It's not a long podcast, man. We
No.
just talk for a little while. We get in, we get out. I don't want to get boring with anything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't want to. But I think my audience is mainly Long Island people, and they love when I go on your show.
Right.
I
Yes,
get I
absolutely.
get more feedback
love
from when
when
I go get for your show than anything else.
And here's the thing: I love when Joey comes in because Joey, there was a period of time not too long ago when I was going through some really, really dark shit. And my friend died, and I was just deep depression. Depression is really real, and it was
Yeah,
for
it
a
is.
couple of years.
Sure
and
is.
Joey would come in, and he's like, "John,
Yeah,
I'm worried about
you
you."
help my family members, by
But
the way.
but Joey could always, no matter how dark it was, he would come in and like throw a yodel at my face or whatever it is, and just make me laugh.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
there are times when Joey will come in and do the show where I can see the light bulb go off on his head, and I know where he's gonna go. And then when we lock in like that,
We
there's-
lock in pretty good.
Yeah, we
We
do.
go on rants and we get people calling us, and then we argue in the middle of it. and then we
Right,
come
right.
out of the argument
Yeah.
because we love each other. Bottom line
do.
is we love each
That's
other
the
no matter
truth.
what.
That's the
So,
truth.
but I want to go back to where you were with BAB now. So you've been there at that point. You've been there like 5 or 6 years. You got your wife. You got
Yeah.
your kids coming along, and now the ratings are doing well at
Yeah.
this point because where Long Island goes for rock and roll, the advertisers are
You know,
coming
it's
in.
funny.
You're doing a lot of live shows.
It's funny because our ratings now are higher than they've ever been.
Right now.
Right now.
God bless you, man.
Yeah.
That's
last 6-8 months have been higher
That's
than they ever were.
phenomenal,
The
man.
whole satellite scare really didn't seem to pan out, right?
No, it wasn't
Not
even.
with
There
you
was all
guys.
this talk.
Not with
Oh,
you guys.
terrestrials going downhill.
Right.
It didn't really
No,
seem to happen.
no.
It evened out, right?
No, there
No.
are people that are so BAB that when they go to work, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
waking up in the morning, like taking a shower. You wash your face, you put BAB on. That's
Absolutely,
it.
sure.
Everybody's got that station locked in their
Yes,
car.
agreed.
And the hard part about it is that we always want to do more. So we're like, get the fucking music out of the way and just let us go, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But they've been getting. See, BAB is fortunate. It's one of the very few radio stations that has had 2 morning shows in 39 years.
Right.
2 in 39 years. That's unheard
That's
of.
it. It's
So
unheard
Bob
of.
Buckman did 20.
Yeah.
And then, Roger and I, at the end of this year, will have wrapped up 20. So,
right.
And that's kind of unheard
And a lot of
but
talented
they've
people
always,
came from there and gone
Right.
from there,
But
too.
they've always gotten music in the morning.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's like this uphill battle to like just let us get some of this music out of the way because
Yeah.
we're onto something and we want to go and go and go and it's like oh no we got to play Leonard Skinner.
It's perfect. But, I mean, we especially when I'm on that.
I hate Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
You hate them or you just sick of them?
No, I'm not a big fan of Leonard Skinner. If I'm being honest.
When I'm on there within 10 or 15 minutes, I gotta look at him and go, how far behind are we? Don't worry. He's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. At the end, we go, man, dead man in the thing. Then we gotta fix the thing. We gotta fix the thing. All right, play the short song. No, comfortably numb. We can't do it. We can't do it. We gotta get to
Because they haven't heard comfortably numb enough.
Yeah, that's
dude,
right. That's right.
please.
But people are creatures of habit. They want to
Right.
hear the same shit over and
You know
over and
what?
over
They,
again.
they
Yeah.
just
That's why I
want,
do a lot of the same stuff in my act all the time. Because
Sure.
if I don't do it, they're like, "Why didn't you do the cat? I brought
Right.
somebody here to see you do that, and you didn't do it." They get mad at me.
Right.
When you gonna be? Where you gonna be again? So I can bring them and say, "And if you don't do it, I'm gonna fucking kill you."
I went to go see Jim Brewer opening
Yeah.
for
Oh,
Metallica.
tell us about that,
I flew out. He invited me out to one of the shows. He's like, you got to come to one of the shows. And then finally, there was a Friday in Cleveland. I said, you know what? I'm getting on a plane and I'm going. And I went out there, and he came out. It was one of those polar vortex days where it was like minus 27 in
Yeah.
Cleveland or whatever it is.
Cleveland's always cold.
So he's got to come out.
Yeah, freezing.
He's got to come out and grab me to get me into the arena. Because he was the opening act for Metallica, a pretty big gig, and somebody's like, "Goat Boy," and he just looks at me and goes, "You see?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Because you go back to doing your
Yeah,
old bits."
they love him, yeah.
They just if he gives him a little
Joe Pesci, all of that. Yeah.
I can't do it, but
Yeah.
yeah. I tell you,
Does all
man,
that.
I tell
Yeah.
you, he crushed it.
Yeah.
Opening for Metallica, he really did.
Brewer is a talent that's just beyond, man. Him and I used to do. We did dueling Joe Pesci's on stage one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, funny how? Funny how?
We were doing it together. It was great. But he's just a mega talent. He deserves everything he gets because he's just phenomenal. But you saw him because it's very hard for a comedian to open up for any kind of band, much less a rock band like Metallica.
Right, but he wasn't out there doing.
yeah.
He wasn't out there doing like a set.
He was doing like
out
a
there just
warm-up-
working the room.
A warm-up
Warm-up,
slash
right.
MC
Right.
slash
game, since heavy metal game show hosts and
ringleader.
That's exactly
like
what
that,
it was.
Like that.
And
Like a
what
circus ringleader.
and what was happening is he was getting these arenas that were because the problem was the band was having
Right.
they would bring a band out and nobody would go inside to see the band, so they weren't selling merch, they weren't
Right.
selling beers, the arenas
Right.
weren't selling beers,
Right.
and all of a sudden they brought Jim in,
Yeah.
and he just over.
Who, by the way, has his own following. Who's got a huge following,
Right.
and he's a heavy metal guy,
Right,
right.
and he's a big
was
Metallica
perfect.
fan. So he's like one of us
It was
is on
perfect.
stage
Yeah.
Yep, it's a
running this
perfect
room.
fit. It really
But
is.
now these
It was
stadiums,
perfect.
he ran around the room though. He didn't stay on the stage, right?
He was on the stage. He was in the stands. He had no problem. Like, and
Right.
you know what? He's such the everyman. Like,
Right.
I'm not gonna say he plays the everyman.
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah, he really
so
is. Yeah.
like nobody, he doesn't have to worry about people bothering
Right.
him. He's just like he
And
was
he doesn't
great.
care if you do. I mean,
No,
and then when
he's
you
great.
watch him do stand up, he's just phenomenal. He does an hour and a half, the kangaroo bit that he does, and all of that stuff. Man, he's just phenomenal. He's great. That's one thing I'm blessed about being a comedian and being in this part of show business. My wife and I had a conversation the other day about I have a couple opportunities, and I looked her in the eye and I said, I really have everything that I've wished for. I mean, with you and the kids and my career and the house and everything.
Well, maybe you
I've
should have
got
set the bar a little
beyond that.
higher. Just saying.
I know, no.
Still waiting for the threesome, honey, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Maybe move out of that one bedroom house in Belmore.
Those days are over. Gotta My kids are out. Now
Oh wait, no,
too many bedrooms.
you built a 2-second bathroom. I forgot about
that's
that.
right. No, I didn't build a second bathroom. I don't want anybody. Maybe that'll happen, but I don't want any of that shit anymore. You know what I did today? I shopped for basil. I'm going to put basil plants in, right?
I see. Now, is that what happens? Where you're what?
Life
8
is
years
so-
older than me? Is that what's going to be like?
Oh,
in
it
8
gets
years?
worse,
I don't-
man. Where do you see?
I shopped
If
for
you can get on the bowl in the morning and get up without your legs being numb, right?
Well,
You
come
gotta-
on. Now, what are you doing to me here?
Ah,
One leg
no,
being
no,
numb.
no,
Come
no,
on.
I totally forgot. I am so sorry.
One leg's already numb.
He's got one leg. He's got it because he lost it too. What happened? A shark bit it off.
Oh,
right?
yeah?
Shark.
There you
yeah,
go.
shark. Google me. It's
Google him. You'll find out what happened to his leg. He donated it.
You should see the shark.
You should say, "Hey, again." What the fuck? What the fuck did I just eat? He spit it out all over Jones Beach. I'm not tasting this ugly fuck. It's full of.
Tastes like All American. It's good.
Full of American. You beat me.
some shark swimming around using your leg as a
There you
toothpick.
go. Hey, everybody's missing something, man. You know.
I forgot where the hell we were going, but who cares?
Yeah, who knows where we're going. I want to go back to you at WBAB because
Okay.
the reason why I'm staying on is because it's a legendary radio station. You guys are legends in the business
Absolutely
here,
right.
and it's not like it's Long Island. Like when I go to towns all over the country, I go to Milwaukee and there's maybe 2 million people in the whole city. I go to Detroit, there's so many people. Boston, there's 100,000 people. Long Island's got 4.5 million people here. We could be a state.
Right.
So these guys have been legends to over millions of people for these years. That's why I'm hopping on this. So I want to know. I want to know when you knew that you became this entity, you and Roger at this thing, and where did it go, and where do you want to go from here?
Can I also interject? Also, because it is New York, you have the Stern thing, which was, I'm sure, was competition for a long time.
Oh,
So-
no question.
So you guys rose above that, which I find
Really
well,
did.
the thing is, we never beat Stern.
But yeah,
And
but
nobody
you,
was
but
going
you,
to.
but you found your own niche, though.
got-
You know,
we-
What
Well,
is
you know what?
before
I-
Stern, there was also Z100 and those
who
other
cares
guys in
about
the
them?
morning and stuff too. But they were legitimate in
Yeah.
the race also.
I credit Raj for having the smarts because remember, I had no radio knowledge whatsoever. I was coming out of the vans, you know.
Right.
But early on, he knew we were never going to out Howard. So
Sure.
the
Right.
idea of having
Right.
strippers on and all that other stuff, that was never going to
Yeah.
be
Been done.
That was
Right.
never in our playbook.
Right.
Nobody
Right.
was, especially in New York, you weren't going to out Howard.
Right.
Right.
But the minute he left, it was an opportunity for us to grow, and we grew real fast.
The minute he left terrestrial radio.
Real fast
yeah.
because we had a lot of Long Island guys.
Right.
You know, used to drive in listening to Howard.
Yeah.
Now all of
Right.
a sudden,
Yeah, a lot of people
they didn't
didn't
want
follow
They didn't
him
want to
there.
pay for it. They
Right.
didn't want, and they came to Roger and I, and we kept them. We kept
Yeah.
them for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, we kept them for a long time.
And you also have connections to the local rock and roll guys. You've had big stars on your show
Yeah.
all the time. Anybody that came through the Nassau Coliseum, they would stop by you.
They would stop by the
or,
studios,
or
yeah.
they would do a call-in at least
It
from
used to
Van
be
Halen to-
more so back in the day, where they used to come into the studio a lot. Now
Yeah.
they unfortunately will they'll go into New York City and they'll do like what's called a satellite tour. So
Yeah.
they'll sit in some studio and make a million
right.
phone calls and
Right.
do it that way. So
Yeah.
it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But you know, you can still sometimes a lot of times our afternoon guys' fingers will go do broadcasts
Yeah.
from the shows at the Coliseum or Jones Beach,
Right.
whatever. then
What are
he'll-
the
and
most
he'll get them
memorable
on.
rock stars you've talked to about?
Oh
about
Jesus!
what? I mean,
we
Billy
just-
Joel has been on your show, right?
No, he won't do our show.
Really?
No.
What?
Wow.
Why? Come on, tell us why.
I don't really know why. I know we made fun a little bit during the accident season. Remember when he was like crashing into houses?
He had
and
it
stuff?
coming.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, his relationship with BAB was Bob Buckman.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
So
they're-
when
they're
Bob
tight,
went to
yeah.
Q104,
People
that
do that.
relationship
They
carried
follow
over.
the person,
And
yeah.
listen, I
Yeah,
get
I
it.
understand.
I understand
yeah,
that too.
totally.
But you know, we just had the guys from Kiss on a couple weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
A couple months ago. Dude, those dudes. I mean, Jesus
Do you have to
Christ.
pay them to be on?
It's
How
just
old
like
are they? They're
I
like
just
in their
sit there and
70s,
I
right?
just sit there and I laugh. I think he's 67, 68
Gotta
years
be,
old.
yeah,
But all those
yeah.
guys, you know who the most fun is? Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he's like the
He
hard
came on a
rock-
Rachel Ray show
Dude,
with Emeril Lagasse, man.
He is just the hard rock Jimmy
Yeah.
Buffett.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
dude just wants to
New
have a
album
good
out,
time. He
everything
wants
now.
no drama. Wants
Right.
just
Yeah.
wants to have a good time.
Yeah.
And he just, you know.
And he'll talk to anybody like he knows you. I've
Right.
had the pleasure. Yeah, he's
right,
great.
Right.
Yeah.
So as far as I met some of the Guns N' Roses guys. I met the Metallica guys.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
kind of thing over the years. But you know what's funny? It's like I never, unless you're writing a check,
Right.
I don't give a shit about an autograph. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I'm not that. I'm
Yeah,
not that guy.
me neither.
I remember Ozzy came in the studio. Like Ozzy was like God to me.
Yeah.
That dude's like 5'5", 5'6".
Is he
And
really?
He's drunk and shuffling
Ozzy's-
along like this. He's this big, dude.
Ozzy short?
I got to meet the Rolling Stones at Giant Stadium.
Wow.
They brought him into a room. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh. So you're another
Yeah,
one.
'cause
that's
you
like
think they're
5'6",
bigger than
5'7".
life.
You
You
think
think they're
they're
bigger than-
because all you ever see them is on stage.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
larger than
right.
life.
Yeah, they're
They're
huge.
just
Yeah.
guys. You know, they're
Yeah.
really they're just guys.
Well, you know me. I don't get upset with any humans on the planet. You know what I
No.
mean? I don't get excited about that.
I know you're a big Barry Manilow guy.
Well, I love Barry. I went to go see him. It was the greatest thing. You should have saw. I saw him.
I have to admit, I've seen him too. He
So
does
you
put
have-
on a
okay,
good
good.
show. I'll admit it.
He-
Yes,
he
I was
put-
trying to get some. I had to
He
go.
was at the Coliseum.
Why do we do anything?
Right,
You were
Right?
probably sitting behind me too, like you do at every
Oh,
concert I go. Every concert I go. I look like 2 rows behind me, and there's Tony Walker.
Joey.
Hey, how are you, Tony? How you doing, man? It's
true.
Joel, wherever
It's
I
true.
go, I go to a basketball game. Hey, Tony, how you doing?
I'm like, Joe, you know people. What are you sitting up here for?
It was inevitable that you and I would get together like this. But
Well, that's what happens when I stalk you long enough.
that's right. See, but Barry Manilow, man. Well, first of all, we grew up with him in the '70s. I didn't lean toward. How could I explain this? In the '70s, there was like a mellow age where, in the early '70s, where it was John Denver, James Taylor,
Right, Carole
Barry
King,
Manilow, that whole
CSN,
thing,
right.
and that was all that was on the radio.
Right.
You got caught into that. I mean, later on, to me, the thing that busted me out into like heavy metal rock and roll was "Bat Out of Hell" with Meatloaf.
Yeah.
That was my thing. That was, to this day, I
Still
can
one
quote,
of the greatest album
Oh,
covers ever.
Absolutely.
to me, I could quote every word from every song. And when I'm in the car coming home at night and I got to stay awake on the Bell Parkway at 2 o'clock in the morning, boom, Bat Out of Hell. Like a bat out of hell, let me go when the morning comes.
On
There's
a hot
rock
summer
opera.
night.
On a hot summer night. Motherfucker. I'm telling you. You know. And how great is the line?
Now I hear
What
that song
can do?
completely differently. So I'm picturing
now
you doing it.
I'm
now.
way praying for the end of time. He's praying for the end of time. That's a joke. That's actually funny. Like every man I know that sings
So I
that
can end
song,
my time with you. Is that
so
how
I
it
can
goes?
end my time
Right.
with you.
I gotta be
promised
honest
I'd
with
be
you.
here for the end of the, now
Yeah,
I'm
he just
praying-
wanted somebody who wasn't
That's
getting
all
it.
he was 17. What else could he
Phil
want? He's got-
Rizzuto. Phil Rizzuto. Did you know
Rizzuto,
that?
did you ever
He
hear it?
was pissed. He had no idea what he was recording that for.
No.
He was pissed.
No, he had to know.
He had no idea. He had
didn't
no
know. He's
idea.
coming
He
out
was
there, he's
fuming.
looking at-
He was fuming when he realized what that was all about.
He probably said "Holy cow" after.
You didn't
Yeah.
know this? You didn't know this?
No,
He
I didn't
probably
know that.
cashed a
I
paycheck.
stumped the Yankee fan. I stumped him.
24
Did
years.
have you ever heard that Paradise by the Dashboard
Yes.
Light? You've heard it? Have you heard the Phil Rizzuto part of it?
I can't really think of it. No.
The back
Michael.
end of the song. It's a guy. It's a
my
guy with a
goodness.
girl, and he's trying to make moves. He's trying to kiss it, first base.
Oh,
second
that
base,
part.
First base, second base, third
Yeah.
base, the whole thing. And it hits Phil Rizzuto calling
Yep.
the shots.
Yep.
As he's doing that, so he didn't know because Phil Rizzuto was old at the time. He
Right.
didn't know that he was doing that as a sex act.
Right.
He thought he was just calling a baseball game.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, so he didn't get the innuendo really.
No,
Right, he had
didn't.
no idea.
Right.
Innuendo. That's the
Right.
word I was looking for. Anybody want a cheeseburger?
24 years working at a classic rock station. I've never once gave a shit about Bat Out of Hell lyrics.
So
That's why I'm fucked up. Because all those lyrics
Useless
are stuck
information.
up there, man. That's
all
it. They were all stuck
Yeah,
up
I
there.
know all about Phil Rizzuto. I just that part wasn't coming to me for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember
look it up.
one
Wow.
time I had to go introduce. No, I had to meet Bob. Bob was introducing. I had to introduce. We had to work the. What's his name? Eddie Money.
Right.
Was doing a show at Levittown High School.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
I
where
was
he's
where he's from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha, but I was just like, my career better get better than this.
Here's the thing
I'm
about
Eddie
that.
Money at Levittown High School.
Now, luckily, I had the warm-up gig, and I had a lot of good gigs come my way. Last night, I did a show in Country Club in the Bronx, which is a big mafia area, so I knew I was safe.
No such
That's,
thing.
that's how you know. Yeah, I'm telling you.
There's no such thing as a mafia. Keep going.
No, that's how you know you're in a safe neighborhood. It's got to be mafia or gay. When you know that neighborhood, then you know when if they can combine the two, really safe neighborhood. Salvatore, let's put a hit on him.
That's a great movie.
These are the jokes,
I'm
man.
telling you.
I did another new joke last night. I go, man, New Yorkers are fat. We got a whole borough on Statins. It's called Staten Island. Hey. Anyway,
Speaking of which, give me
I
some
did
fries.
have another one.
Let's go back to Bat Out of Hell
Yeah.
lyrics.
I did a gig. When you're talking about Levittown High School, man, I did a gig last night. 135 people, low ceilings, a mic and a light. I got paid well. It was the greatest gig for me. 100 seats, 200 seats for me. I'll do them, 1,000 of them for the rest of my life. That's it. But stay unknown.
Right, but
as long as
realize he went from selling out the Coliseum to Levittown
it
High School.
happens. Everybody's on their way down, dude. That's what happens.
I
Bob
know.
Hope was Bob
Dude, you
Hope.
want-
Bing Crosby was big.
If you want to laugh, watch his reality show. He's a train wreck.
Who?
Eddie Money's got
I've
a
heard
reality
that.
show.
He's got a
Yeah.
reality show?
It's a train wreck.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God.
That's
Your
why
buddy-
people watch it.
Oh, of course.
Well, your buddy John Blennon.
John Blennon is good friends with John Blennon. He
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
sits with me, and he's good friends with him. Yeah,
Yeah, he directed the musical.
documentary.
The musical. Two Tickets to Paradise musical.
Oh, that's right.
He
That's right.
directed it,
Yeah. I like Eddie Money. You know when I met Eddie Money? He played at Kevin James's wedding.
Oh, did he?
Kevin James got married at the.
He came on our show one time. I shouldn't break
in
his balls. 'Cause he came
Laguna
on
Beach.
He came on our show one time. He was just a lot of fun. He was really
Yeah,
cool.
he had a very famous hotel, not Mirage, something. Forget the name of the hotel. It's in Laguna Beach, and that's where Kevin got married. And Eddie Money was the band, was the wedding band for his. It was very funny. It was very surreal.
Was Zebra the opening act?
What's that?
Was Zebra the opening act?
Zebra and Twisted Sister. And we were-
Speaks?
Yeah, Speaks.
Uncle Sam's.
Uncle Sam's. What was the one? Hammerheads on.
Aren't we about 100 yards from Uncle Sam's?
Yeah,
in
we
Philly?
are. It's right across the
Right.
across the lot over here. Anyway, listen. So I just want to before we finish up because I want to get going here. A lot of Game of Thrones shit going on tonight.
Fuck that.
You don't watch that
I'm with
show,
you.
right?
No.
I'm with you.
All right, people.
but you know
gonna
what's
be
cool?
Dropping off.
Dragon.
Next week you're opening up with The Sopranos next week.
Yeah. So Friday I go to Detroit. Actually, right outside Detroit, on the Amos. We're doing an 800-seat thing with Steve Sharippa, Michael Imperioli, and Vinny Pastore. We're doing like stand-up thing. So if you can hear if my people in Michigan that are listening,
Are they bringing
go
it to
there.
New York?
Yeah, we're going to Westbury on the
Friday.
4th. No,
Saturday, sorry,
Saturday the 4th is Westbury. I'm just doing like 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm organizing, moderating the Q&A.
Next Saturday, this coming
Next
May
Saturday,
4th?
yeah, the
Yeah.
4th, yeah.
damn it.
And then I go to July 20th. I'm doing Foxwoods with them, and I might pick up a few more dates here and there. So that's the. But joeycola.com for all my other dates. I got a million other dates popping up. But listen, before we shut down, one more thing. I want to find out. I want to thank you first of all.
course.
We were talking about anxiety before.
Yeah.
You really helped my family members a lot. You talking to them and everything, and I realize that people like JP's a wise ass. When I get that on BAB, people,
Right.
JP did this, JP did that. I go, JP's one of the nicest guys I know.
Right.
I mean, you could be a prick. I could be a prick. Everybody could be a
Right.
prick a little bit. You know what I mean? Because we got that edge that we work with.
Right.
But deep down, you're a great guy, and I want to thank you for helping
you.
my family out.
My pleasure.
And
I
where,
know,
what's
I know how
next?
dark that place is, so that's a horrible place.
It's
for
a dark
anybody to be.
place for everybody. I mean, I told you that I had my my transient global amnesia episode. We talked
Yep.
it on here. I told you about it when I had that. I got off my beta blocker, which I found out is an anxiety drug, not only for the heart, and I got off it too quick. And I had, ladies and gentlemen, Joey Kola. I forgot my act. It was the biggest
Right.
horror that any
Of
comedian
course.
could ever. You just forgot your act after 38 years. So, and that's an anxiety connected thing also. But I want to thank you for your help and everything. So where next on BAB? Besides on every day, tell me what's going on.
Weekdays 5:30 to 9 on 102.3 WBAB and WBAB.com. Obviously, you can listen on Long Island. We also do a midday show on 102.
That's right, The Bone.
Right, 102.5 The Bone down in Tampa. That's live every day from 11 to 2.
Yeah.
You can go to theboneonline.com if you want to just stream that, or
Yeah.
we all have apps and everything. You find us all
Yeah,
over the
that's
place.
it. Promise me you'll come back over the summer a
Dude,
little bit.
absolutely.
I do your show, you do my show, we all do his show,
Dude,
we do
I'll
his show, everybody do his show.
Listen, I'll do that. This is a good time.
Yeah. But you got to tell me what to have, though, for you to eat, because I want you to eat.
Listen, the next time I come back, I promise you I'll eat.
But
all
not this shit. We won't eat this shit. I'll bring you like quinoa, some farro. I'll bring you something with a little lemon juice on
you're
top.
a dick.
All right?
You're a dick. I love you so much.
Thanks for listening, you guys. Rock and roll. Have fun. Enjoy Game of Thrones, and I'll see you next Sunday.
The dragon wins.